This is the Jesus Lectures 5, Mastering True Compassion. And this is the fifth of an imagined series of lectures by Jesus of Nazareth to modern societies and seekers based on events in the Gospels. This book is an attempt to answer the following question. If Jesus were to briefly visit Earth today to give his followers an interim evaluation on how they are collectively doing, what would he say? This is the fifth of 10 fictional lectures by Jesus that are contained in 10 separate ebooks. And in the outline, you see how that Jesus, talking in the first person, describes the details behind key events briefly summarized in the Gospels as they apply to how well his modern-day followers are doing in putting his words into action. And this is the first part of Jesus' introductory remarks to his fifth lecture. It is with great pleasure that I, Jesus of Nazareth, speak to you today. This is my fifth lecture on the overall topic of moving closer to God. Today, focusing on mastering true compassion. As I described to you in my last lecture, godly love is not just a vague emotion, but is defined by actions that are reasonable, useful, respectful, beautiful, and honorable. And not just to people you like, but even towards people that you don't like. How is this possible? It flies in the face of all of one's animal instincts. The genetically programmed wiring in your brain prompts you to automatically fear those who are different, hate those who hurt you, and take revenge whenever possible. God is disgusted by humans that revel in their animal instincts. Have no doubt that those who give in to those temptations will be rejected by the Almighty. How can you keep the love of God burning sincere and bright in your hearts? The key is in understanding and operationally defining true compassion. Only by mastering this enabling attitude will you do right by others, keep your heart open, and remain within the kingdom of God. Yes, the nail in the coffin to our own spiritual demise, no matter how much we may fervently claim or strive to follow God, is often our inability to let loose of the wrongs that others have done to us. The wounds are so deep, the wrongs so grievous, the deeds so evil. It seems there's no way our hearts can be healed, the wrongs righted, or the evil excused. No, those grievous wrongs may seem totally insurmountable. But unless we can find a way to rise above them, we will not enter or stay within the kingdom of God. If we are already in the kingdom of God when those occur and we fail to conquer them, we will be rejected. It is not a minor problem at the back of our consciousness. It is a matter of being a citizen of the kingdom of God or not. And it's the most difficult challenge, the highest hurdle, the most formidable obstacle of all that we face in being a godly person. Sadly, many think that they are just fine, but will be sorely disappointed when they are discarded by God into the black abyss. However, there's hope even in the face of the very worst offenses done to us or to our loved ones. The hope that somehow we can avoid being dragged down by the evil of others lies in understanding and applying godly love. Why? Because godly love is not just superficial emotions. Indeed, you can have very negative feelings towards evildoers, yet still exhibit towards them the transcending love of God. Consider the example of my own death. Did you think that I had warm, fuzzy feelings towards my executioners? Did you think that I liked the people who were very deliberately driving spikes through my hands and my feet? Did you think that I had tender affection for the soldier who drove a spear into my side? No, I did not. Indeed, I felt superficial loathing and even hatred for those people at those specific times. Yet I still clung to godly love, which allowed me to perceive deeper, higher, wider, more complexly and more substantially than just the immediate awful impact or horrendous lingering consequences of evil done against me or my loved ones. Because of godly love, I was able to allow all those terrible things to happen to me, not just for me to save my friends, my supporters, and my fellow godly people, but also to try and save even my very executioners. Godly love does not depend on us having good feelings toward other people or them doing nice things to us. Godly love derives from and depends solely on the Almighty, who transcends everything else in existence. And godly love is not expressed as a vague, warm, pleasant feeling, but as tangible, positive actions. That is what takes godly love from the realm of the impossible, to have warm, fuzzy feelings for those doing terrible things to you, to the possible, deliberately choosing to do tangible acts of undeserved kindness. Indeed, godly love can be potently expressed simply by restraining from negative actions. I could easily have vaporized or thrown into the deepest, darkest hell my executioners. They truly and fully deserve such preemptive and terminal reactions from me. Instead, I chose to restrain my natural desire to lash out in defense and revenge out of godly love. Those looking at my body writhing in agony, dangling from bloody spikes as the cross was lifted and dropped into place, may not have recognized the extreme restraint I was exercising from godly love, but it was indeed there. I was giving to the Roman troops present, the officials that ordered my murder, and the religious figures that caused it all to happen, an overwhelming act of godly love by not choosing at that moment to rip out those spikes, come down off of that cross, and tear those evil monsters into shreds. You may think that you lack my divine power to restrain yourself from taking deserved revenge. You may think you don't have my divine perspective to justify deliberate, tangible acts of goodness towards even those who've done evil to you. You may think that you don't possess my divine empathy to understand why people do evil, for consciously engendering sympathy towards them. But you are wrong. If you are in me, then I am in you, and you do possess my divine power, perspective, and empathy. But calling up those godly characteristics and letting them change your thoughts, words, and actions is a choice. You can choose to stubbornly savor the wrongs that people have done to you, carefully plotting your revenge and enjoying its fulfillment, or to rise above those animal, instinct-driven emotions and reactions. Only those who actively choose to follow God because they want to do so, particularly in doing the difficult things, will enter into and stay within the kingdom of God. Yes, I realize all of what I just said is quite easy to say, but very difficult and hard to actually do. Indeed, this is one of the most difficult requirements of all for entering and remaining within the kingdom of God. So let me give you yet another example that will hopefully help you better understand your position and your options in reacting to the evil that others do to you, in operationally defining compassion. And the lecture continues with a number of other very specific examples that strike to the bone and the hearts of human beings reacting against each other in the present day world, as illustrated by what Jesus actually did back in the first century when he was on the face of the earth with other human beings. Now, should you wish to obtain all the details of this book, it is available for purchase for $9.98 by clicking on the ordering link at lylepublishing.com/JesusLecture5.htm. And if you wish to do so, in just a few minutes from now, you can have downloaded to your computer the same thing you just saw on this computer and be reading, enjoying, and gaining fresh religious insights that perhaps you've never heard before, but may be tremendously helpful in you living the godly life.